I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
You have a lovely passage where you say, looking at the world today, God seems to be making a comeback, but this is a mirage. God is dead. It just takes a while to get rid of the body.
God is dead. Most inspiring words I've ever heard. Dr. Noah Yuval Harari of the World Economic Forum. Ever heard of it?
How have you been doing lately?
Not good. Now this might surprise you, but believe it or not, I have been offended lately.
What's been offending you this time?
God. God makes everywhere literally an unsafe space.
You've been offended by God? Aside from giving you the gift of life, how has God been offending you?
Well, first of all, God gave me the wrong gender.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be a male woman. That's a pretty big one to screw up. That'd be like if you go to a restaurant and order a tofurkey sandwich, but they bring you out a toficken sandwich. That's a big mess. And that's enough to ruin the rest of my month. Like, there's a pretty big difference in which animal you're pretending to eat. And this is at least twice as painful as that. Because it's either God made a mistake giving me the wrong gender, or I mistakenly think I'm the wrong gender. And I think we all know God's more likely to make mistakes than I am. So I think you can see why I'm offended by God's insensitivity.
I'm over here.
Ah, there you are. My mistake. And also, God didn't stop there. He gives everyone freedom as their birthright. What is he, a Trump supporter? Like what, does he just not care about people being safe? Free will lets people think, speak, and act differently than I want them to. So obviously, instead of giving people free will, God should give people communist will, where they're completely controlled.
That sounds satanic.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
What else offends you about God?
Well, he could do a lot more to promote diversity and inclusion. Like, he gives people one race. That's very uninclusive to all the other races. It's like, what are you doing, God? He could dramatically improve diversity if he made all of us entirely black, Hispanic, golden retriever, and something else that's also not white, all at the same time. But God doesn't want to because he's racist. At least Satan tries to demonically possess all races equally. Equity points for Satan. And by the way, why does God only give us one gender? I think assigning a minimum of 19 genders to each person at birth wouldn't be a bad start. Is that too much to ask? That would increase the odds of him getting at least one of them right. And why does God feel the need to assign any genders at birth? It's like he's trying to play God or something. I'd say, first of all, don't assign anyone any genders at birth. I prefer to play God myself. Thank you very much. And by definition, God assigning someone the wrong gender makes him transformer-phobic. That's why God doesn't have an Instagram account. He got canceled for hate. But if he's gonna insist on being transphobic and a misogynistic therapist, at least wait until we're 15 to assign us a gender at birth. And how about this for inclusivity? God makes everyone also everybody else at the same time. That would be very inclusive because I identify as everyone and everything. That's who I am.
It really sounds like you think of yourself as God.
Which would be easier if God's will wasn't interfering with my will all the time. And what about equal outcomes, God? God curses us with the ability to choose how we want to live our lives, and therefore we have to experience the positive and negative consequences of our choices. Some people choose to do things that give them a crappy life, and it's not their fault that that's how they've chosen to live. It's God's fault for not giving us equal outcomes.
I don't know if you can see it, but you're making yourself the victim of God.
Excuse me, but don't call me what I am. I'm not a victim. That's offensive. I feel insecure, unfulfilled, scared, angry, and anxious because God's will doesn't obey my will.
Have you ever thought of asking God for help?
That doesn't make sense. I'll keep doing the opposite because what I've been doing so far in trying to have less God in my life while trying to play God hasn't worked, which means I haven't done enough of it. Asking God for help wouldn't help anything.
But it sounds like you at least believe in God.
Kind of. I don't want to though. Because I realized if I don't believe in God at all, with everything going wrong in my life, then I'd have to accept responsibility for it. But if I still believe in God a little bit, then I can blame it all on God. Taking responsibility for my life isn't something I'm responsible for. But mostly not believing in God makes it easier for me to instead put my faith in the world's leading philanthropists like Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates, who are trying to help people by replacing God's way with their way. Clearly, we could make the world an entirely safe space if there was no God allowed.
That's what communism does, and that leads to suffering, starvation, and millions of deaths.
Well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
But it's an irrefutable fact when you look at the history of communism and where it's being used present day, it's very true.
Well, it's not my truth. I don't know where you're getting your facts. But turning my back on God gives me the benefit of always lusting for safety, control, and significance. But if I were dumb enough to put my faith in God, I wouldn't be constantly fixated on those things. I'd only have everything else instead. Hey there, my friend. I wanted to let you know before the world ends, I'm on my live comedy tour called Stay Free or Laugh Trying. I'm coming to you in Naples, Florida, Oklahoma City, Spokane, Washington, Appleton, Wisconsin, San Antonio, and Austin, Texas. Tickets are always available at awakenwithjp.com. Stay free. I have an announcement. I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, my favorite new wellness product I've gotten in the past year, Bon Charge and their infrared sauna blanket. Get this, research has shown that using a sauna between 4 and 7 times a week gives you a 40% reduction in all-cause mortality. And aside from helping me not die, the benefits I get from the infrared sauna blanket are helps me recover from exercise, helps me recover from injuries, helps me detoxify myself, and it boosts my metabolism. After I get out, I feel renewed and energized. The benefits of using a sauna are clear, but the problem with using a sauna is most sauna systems are extremely expensive and take up a lot of space in your home, making them not very practical for most people. But the Bon Charge infrared sauna blanket is extremely cost effective, and I love the fact that it's compact. I roll it out when I'm using it, I clean it up and put it away when I'm done. If you want to take your health and wellness to the next level with the best, most cost-effective infrared sauna system on the market, just go to boncharge.com/JP. And while you're there, use the discount code JP for 15% off. Once again, that's boncharge.com/JP, discount code JP. Thank you, Bon Charge.